one. Julian Fleming question, just to be quick on that. He did visit Virginia Tech recently, but there's not a whole lot new there. He's going to see a lot of schools before he decides. Good question, though, Mike. And then we finish up with Matt, who wants to know, this is actually a really interesting question, Bob. With the way Penn State's recruiting now, with Saquon Barkley have received a scholarship in high school, if he was that kind of running back now in this class for Penn State? That's an interesting question. Keep in mind, I mean,
that's a really good question.
People finally figured out what Saquon Barkley was about, but it was 2 or 3 games into his Penn State season. Now look, people saw him during Penn State summer camp. The story everyone tells is that he took a touchdown in the house, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, this guy's really, really good. But it's a fair point. I mean, at Whitehall, he had pretty good numbers, but he wasn't necessarily on the national stage as a recruit. Later in the game, he got on that national stage, no doubt, because he was committed to Penn State and had that sort of tag to go with him, and he went to some all-star games and all that. But would he be a guy that they were focused on if it was this year and you had Devin Ford and some of these other guys we've talked about? I'm going to say yes, because Penn State recruits Pennsylvania so well that they probably wouldn't have missed this guy. But it is an interesting question when you think about how his recruitment played out.
Yeah, I just remember coming in, he and Andre Robinson were kind of viewed very much as equals. They were both, I think, 4 stars at that time. And the question was, which one of them would play as a true freshman?
Right.
And then once practices got underway, there was an immediate separation. And then once the regular season got underway and they lost that game at Temple, the next week Saquon was splitting time with Akeel Lynch. And then very soon after that, it was pretty much the end of Akeel Lynch's run.
Let's say he handled that about as well.
He did handle it well, but I think that I give the person who asked that question a lot of credit.
That's a good question.
I think you could make the argument that maybe it wasn't necessarily going to be a slam dunk that they would have gotten Barkley. He probably wouldn't have been the top priority. Now, I'm sure James Franklin would never admit that, but they were at a different point at the program in terms of collecting talent. Now they can kind of just sit back and wait, hope for the 4 5-star guys that are locks to come to them. I don't know. There's a chance that in an alternate reality or in a time machine, he could have stayed at Rutgers or went someplace else.
Right. All right. Sorry. One more. Justin Shorter's impact. We'll make this one quick.
Ooh.
I think as long as he shows up, and the thing I keep going back to with him is if you watch the video his dad posted on social media of him running the 100-meter dash. And he's so much, or I'm sorry, it was a 4x1 relay. And he's so much bigger than everybody else, and he just blows all of them away at the Penn relays. And the kid has the size, the speed. Bob, as long as he has the technique, I don't know how you keep him off the field.
Yeah, I mean, and wide receiver is a position that if you're as good as advertised, it's pretty easy to play. I mean, it's not really that complicated. And I would just say this, I think that Penn State staff was prepping for him to play right away when they moved DeAndre Tompkins, or they had him work in the slot in spring. If you think about, they're going to miss Saeed Blacknall, and they're going to obviously miss Deshaun Hamilton more. But if you think about a 3 wide receiver set with Juwan Johnson, Justin Shorter, and then DeAndre Tompkins in the slot,
and then Tommy Stevens somewhere on the
Tommy
field.
Stevens maybe next to an obvious passing in the red zone. It's going to be really...
How do you defend it?
It could be really, really difficult. I mean, if he is as good, this could be a better receivers group than last year's just because of the vertical set threats. And all these guys are specimens. I just think that I'd be surprised if Justin Shorter, by the second half of the season, isn't one of the most dangerous players on the field for Penn State.
All right. Thank you all for the questions. Bob, hit us with that YouTube one more time.
All right. I've been memorizing this for months and months, and it's finally gotten to the point where I don't have to ask anyone to write down the address. It's youtube.com/allpennstate. So that's it for this edition of the Penn State Blitz on PennLive.